What is up, gamers? A little bit of a different video today. I actually VOD reviewed one of my viewers who was signed up to the dojo. More information about that later or in the description. And we just ended up covering his Hela, and he was insisting that his team was really bad and it was the team's fault that he lost this game. And as you can see, there's a lot of things he could have done differently. So strap down, grab your popcorn, and get ready to learn, because there's a lot of good information in this one. Let's dive into it. Great. Then we have a good start, and we'll take it from there. It's funny with Hela too, because it's Hela is something I'm working on, so I'm sure I'll have tons of insights for you as well. And in the chat, you had some thoughts, but I think we can just dive into it. Yeah, Scarlet and Hela. So you got Kinza here. Celestial last season. Diamond, I think that was the season. And we're gonna just check him out. Let's see how it goes. You had huge input delay or something. Server was terrible. Servers were real. If this was yesterday, then servers were really bad yesterday. I had some weird lag out too. Let's see how it goes. I'll keep that in mind. But it's a shame because it's an aim-based hero, so I think you can't get away with it that easily. If there's some whiffs. But I mean, everyone does whiff. Nobody has perfect aim. So let's check it out. Just checking the comp. Looks not terrible. This is a very... You said that this is diamond or this is plat, right? It's very diamond or plat comps. They have an Iron Fist. That's going to be a problem for you. But I do have a Iron Man, which can be pretty solid. Okay. Could have stunned him there. I know he caught you off guard, but I should have heard him too. That might have been like Spectator, but it was XL. Yeah, sure. In situations like this, what I normally try to do is just deal with the Iron Fist. He's like the highest. That's rough, you whiffed that one, but I think you would have died either way. He's like your highest priority target. You should like just, you know he's gonna be coming in, so you have to be ready. I think you obviously can't be looking for him the whole game, but you do need to be ready to like turn against him. Like have a chip on your shoulder and just keep, like as soon as you hear a sound effect, just like stop what you're doing and look at him. Because he's the only person, it's important to take a look at what your comp is, what your comp is doing and what the enemy comp is doing. Yes, they have a fork with diving in, but you have already seen that the Iron Fist just jumps straight in. You should be able to punish that if he's going in solo. He wasted his block. That is rough. He could definitely have died. And you could go for a duel on him, but it's going to be hard. It's like I think better keeping some range and playing with the team is the play. But like the second you've dealt with the Iron Fist, then you know you can move up without having to worry about him, and you can actually like start looking for off angles and control the flanks. When you have control of the map, you can also control the space, control the flanks, so stop him from running up freely as well. He's like your #1 priority for now. Better right click, you would have died for sure. That's a good pick. So now you have basically all the space. Your second target could be Iron Man. Obviously supports are good too, but like Iron Man is just free low for you if you catch him with good positioning. I guess tanks works fine if it's like target focus, but yeah, supports, you could easily get them here. They're just peeking you, giving you the angle. Even off-ang. If you really wanted, like you could... maybe it's up to you if you want to keep the bird, but you could try to take like an off-ang here, like a big off-ang up on the wall here on the right. Oh god, my mouse is scratchy again. Wall here on the right. Where is my mouse? There. Or like on the left or something. Again, just kind of like trying to control the space more than just standing in the middle. Then you can also, like, now that they're ulted,
if you had more control of your space, it probably could have picked him up as it rotated into the cloak ult. You don't see the Iron Fist there, but you would have had him. Like, he knows you're his biggest, like... You ever notice when you have Hela v Hela? It's always a Hela duel and then everything else. This guy knows that's what matters. He has to kill you, then he can do all the other decisions. But you don't seem to have the same priority. Obviously deal with what's in front of you. But always keep more attention to that. Or give more attention to the enemy like duelists that you're playing like that. Crazy how it resets the... There we go. I feel like I can see you using your... I think you haven't used your E that much either. It's worth using. And the ultimate could be better. Most of it, I haven't seen you use it. But you guys have also been like kind of in a... Playing from behind most of the game. You hear him? Do you hear the Iron Fists? Just ignore him the whole time. And I assume he killed their teammate. There he kills a Rocket. If you just look back, Rocket would have lived. And then he kills you anyways. Like if you're playing the... If you're playing in the backline, like this guy is actually throwing as Iron Fist, by the way. He's not playing that good. Or rather, like, what he is doing are things he shouldn't be getting away with. He is solo jumping you and your backline constantly, your entire team. He's getting away with it because Iron Fist is super annoying, but most importantly because nobody's even looking at him. Like, he's jumping in when... He's jumping into situations where his team can't even follow up. Like, if 4 people just looked at him and shot him, he would have died a lot of these times. Or just if you looked back. In this case, I think. Or at least would have forced him off. This is really annoying to be in Hela in this situation, because you always gotta, like, look at both sides. Like, you gotta look both forward and backwards at the same time. But again, it's just important to keep in mind, like, what will win us the fight. Most of the time, peeling backwards will win you the fight. Because then you still have your backline, you have your supports. Then obviously pushing forward, getting off angles, securing picks is extremely valuable too. But it doesn't matter if I pick the enemy backline if my own backline is dead. Then it's just a matter of who has, like, the most heals. Closest to the medkits or something, right? It's always super chaotic. Especially on Hela, I feel like. You're in a bit difficult situation as a Hela here because you have the job... Well, you actually do have a Psylocke. I don't know if you have a Psylocke the whole time. But now you should definitely be, like, backlining. Maybe you... I don't know if we have a Moon Knight. You probably also should be backlining. And both of you guys should just be trying to, like, peel back here. Let the side deal with the rest. But you have a bit of a difficult mission as a Psy. Or as a Hela. Because you are... you're basically the off-tank, in a way. Because you have a... Emma. So both of you guys should probably peel. It's even harder for her to do 2 things at once. But you're playing, like, aggro when you should be peeling back. You also trying to play behind the tanks? Well, your tanks, it's a domino effect at the same time, right? Like, if your backline is struggling, your tanks will be struggling. This Iron Fist is just chilling. This is something this is a mistake I do a lot myself, as a lot of people do, but it's genuinely, like, this guy is just punching for free. Just bullying him off would go a long way. Hitting the supports here is smarter than shooting the tanks with the ult. Loki would be free here. Like, 3 hits. You had time for 4 free hits on him there. Iron Fist still just doing whatever he wants. Like, so far, a large part of the responsibility, because you said you were like worried you thought your team was playing really bad. So far, a large part of your responsibility is falling on you. I definitely feel like Sai could be playing better. He could probably be harassing the backline more, but you're just not peeling at all right now. I don't understand the dots. But the start was bad. Might take a better halfway. Aren't we halfway now? I don't know how many rounds we're looking at. Oh, it's 3 rounds? Okay. I hate walking out there, by the way. I think going with your supports, going for the high ground, was a play. Especially because you have no shield tank. I mean, you have an Emma. It's a 500 health shield that goes down in a millisecond. That's way better, yeah. I don't know if they called it or you heard him, but that's good. Just make him uncomfortable a little bit. And then exactly, this is what I mean. Look forward and look backward. Be aware of your backline while also helping your front line. Shooting what your team needs. Way better focus. Obviously the fight was won at this point, but it's because you stopped, you pushed the guy back at the start. You made it impossible for him to just stand back and punch. What's funny when this happens is they usually get used to, oh, I could just walk in the backline and punch, and then they don't even realize that you figured it out, and they're just gonna keep feeding. Then if they adjust, then you have to adjust again. Like, he's been pushing the limits, and now is finally being punished for it. Or there's a 4 and Iron Fist is doing whatever they want. The Sai was peeling here. Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. This is probably the last fight either way. Focus could be better from the rip here, but I mean, it ended up making the right decision eventually. You can shoot the run up here, and you can also try to just control the off angles, because you know they're playing flankers. They're probably going to try to run through one of the flanks. Risky decision, works out. Following up on the ult. I think your Sai is peeling back as well. I'm not sure what your Moon Knight is doing, but the team as a whole is just playing more defensively right now. You're actually the person who's the most out. How did you win this? I want to watch this fight back. So honestly, okay, this could have gone either way. I think the decision was okay, but you whiffed. You said you were lagging like this game, so I assume that was happening also. But this would go a lot differently. I feel like you kind of wasted your E. That's your call. Kind of wasted your E here, and then really good ult from Emma because they have to run up. They're not gonna have the shields. And I feel like you could have probably a little bit more trigger discipline. little bit more patience there, you would have had him, I think, because you could headshot the cloak. I think he stuns her here, right? Oh, she's behind the shield, maybe not. But his play gets less valuable because he didn't get the pick there. If he got the kill on the CD, that would have been huge. Then I don't think you had to jump in here whatsoever. I assume you maybe did this to, again, just kind of wasted E here. Especially because of a heal up. No, you did not have to walk in there. You were in a good spot here. You have a medkit, if needed, right there. You can go on higher ground. You do not have to, like, actually join the fray here. They're just gonna kill you. They're close range, all of them, so... You could just sit back and comfortably click them there. You had all the space in the world to do that. And if they turn the focus on you, then your teammates will have space to help you out and shoot them in the back. This is nice, you're helping with the Iron Fist again. Like, credit where credit is due, I think that is good. But overall, like, if you just were sitting back there, I think that would have gone better for you than jumping in. That's at least that's my read of the situation here. Because you didn't really accomplish much jumping into the middle. You just made it so it was another person your teammates had to heal. You were bunched up with your teammates, so it was easier for the enemies to hit you. They have 4, they have Iron Fist, they have Iron Man with the splash damage of Strange, who's really close range. Again, Hela can be played on the flank, is usually really good to play on the flank. Let's say you just literally stayed here. You will be fine, you can just be poking at them, you force them to turn on you. And depending on how the fight goes, you could even block like the rotations when they come up or something. If you take too much pressure, you could rotate back, play this medkit, play this high ground, and just do your whole thing and off angle them really hard. Switch to the Scarlet. It's not a bad decision, actually. This is a smart decision. Switching to Scarlet when you're doing the portal. I might actually put that one in my playbook. This is something you don't really think about. I know you're like lean towards playing Scarlet. But it's just like some type of thing you just don't occur to most people. I'm curious if you never use your stun in this fight whatsoever, by the way. But yeah, that was a very good call to pick the Scarlet. I think you accomplished way more than you could have on Hela there. Way more. And I'm not saying that to diss your Hela. Just straight up, that team up is really good. I feel like Scarlet isn't that good as a whole, but the team up is pretty solid. You have very good damage. And you have to dish out a lot of damage in a short period of time. And you have to stay alive. Really good for like this type of brawly fight. I'm literally like I'm not even kidding when I say I'm gonna write this down. I'm actually writing this down right now. Let's see. If I'm DPSing. And like maybe I'll lose ult, but like sometimes it's worth it. And then depending on how the fight plays out, I could ult as Scarlet. And I think swapping back here was the play as well. Yes, you lost some of your ultimate, but you don't have a team up anymore. There's no point in greeting it, and you're not going to get value from your ultimate either way, so. If you had Invisible Woman ult or something like that, you could try to combine that way, but it's just smarter. This is a way smarter move. Wasted E. It's too early. I think stunning him isn't a bad idea, but it was too early. He was in shift, so he's unstunnable. That was nice. So far, most of the right decisions. I really don't like your stuns. I'm not like the goat of stunning, but I feel like I've maybe seen one good stun so far. I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement here. You're just sending them very often. It's a weird balance to hit, where it's like, you want to use, and I say this with all cooldowns, you want to use your cooldowns as much as you can. There's no mana or anything. But then it's still cooldown management. If you use an ability when you don't need it, then it means you don't have it when you do. In this case, a lot of times it's like, I mean, you use them and you don't get value out of them, but you also use them and it's like, then you don't have them. Like, I think that's what bothers me more. I'm not sure if I necessarily see a better use for them later, but like, obviously you would play in a situation where you would get it, but a lot of these just feel like you're throwing them out for no reason, and it just doesn't even accomplish anything. Like, even a reload would be better there if needed. That's a bit of a C9. Wait, it's not a C9. Okay, there's a AI voiceover bug. That's embarrassing. This is gonna take you some space. You have your ultimate. Like, I want to give you a better tip for the stunts. It's something I'm figuring out myself. I feel like the stunts are just a good... Like, you can... It is a hard stun, so you can use it to counter ults. 99% of the time, you won't actually counter ults with it. It is unrealistic for you to do. I don't expect you to. Using it as a way to create space. If you have a melee diver, you have literally... Oh, he did swap now, but you did have an Iron Fist. There's a 4, there's a thing now. When they get too close, absolutely. And then you get 2 headshots. Do that. Yeah. There's, you know, not that much follow-up. You can be more confident, I think. That's something I'm working on. You need to be more confident on, like, the headshot after the stun. Because you will get, what, 1 or 2, maybe even, depending on the hero or whatnot. The weird thing is, like, how it pulls people in. I'm actually thinking about going into the range and practicing myself. But I do think, like, if you get more comfortable with how the stun works, you're going to hit more shots. Because, again, I believe the timing is 2 free headshots, which is a shit ton of damage. Often a stun thing with it does so often send it on a thing. It makes sense, and you get easy headshots. It's just, in this case, you did it on a thing who was charging. And, again, he is unstunnable during the charge, and I believe the slam. So the timing could have been a bit slower, but... It cancels ult. That's what you mean. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I wonder how fast it is. Yeah, it's like a predictive thing. I mean, he just swapped the thing, didn't he? So I don't think you would get it now, but... Ult tracking is huge. I mean, most of my ult tracking, I don't think I mentioned that in my seminar, is actually just me... This is nice. 6 didn't get the kill. Most of my ult tracking is actually... there is some ult tracking, most of it is just reading. I just look at what my enemies are doing. You probably noticed that. Okay, let's rewind. I didn't like this fight at all, but the question is if it was your fault. You had a good opening damage here. Shame you didn't get it. That would have changed everything. Instead, they got to walk in. Nobody was controlling the flanks here. Did he come in from a flank? He did, actually. Okay. So you guys were tunneled as a team. You try helping out. You body-shotting him, which is a shame. 2 headies would put him in like 50 health or 100 health there. I would have been dead. That's where you should hit Q. I think you had time to do it, right? But like, hindsight is 20/20. If you reacted if you reacted really fast, you could have ulted there. But it like very tight. Maybe you were trusting the support ult. Not sure. It's a good get out of jail free card. Cannot be understated. You could have stunned her here. You killed her, but it's like you had your stun. You had it right there. It's a good way to secure kills, especially on squishies. Where does this stun go? No, you just threw it into their spawn instead. That was nice. I think I'm being hyper aware of the stuns too, again, because I've been in the situation. You still didn't use it there. But I guess you got it here. You were kind of... You could have ulted this whole time. Just to stay alive and, like, get some space. I would have ulted. Probably when things were getting really bad. Because you can pick the supports. You know the supports are sitting back here? Or at least one of them, the Mantis. You've held on to this ult for a really long time. And then, yeah, you could have stunned this guy, but I felt like you could have just ulted. Like, that would turn this fight. Absolutely would turn this fight. Instead, you kind of just fell over. So I wanted to see you maybe stun there. Maybe could have turned on a stun. But honestly, just using your ultimate, I think, at one point. You had at least 2 options. You could have used it. And it would have helped you turn the fight. Instead, they got the flip on that. So anything until you retake it, assuming you retake it, you could say puts a lot of like responsibility on you here, sadly. It's a stun. Just don't love it. It's not terrible though. You got some damage, you just didn't lead to anything. I think it's a small thing. Sending the stun into tanks can be fine. Like if there's no other value you want to get from him, it's more like just headshot him after, please. Try to ult but had to cover. Yeah, you needed to do it earlier. It's like you have insta iframe on your ult, I think. This one is like, I feel like, again, and maybe that's why you're doing it. You watch me play Hella. Like I do throw my stun at the tanks, but I try very hard to make sure I get headshots because they're very free headshots after. Otherwise the value is very terrible. This is a very greedy. I don't know why you're walking like this. Okay, no, never mind. I thought you were gonna go forward. So let that play. This thing is a big problem for you. It's a big problem in general, but tons of space. Could have. Yeah, you did eat it. That was a good idea. Nice. Don't hate the shift there. Not the biggest fan of the ult, but it is that ult to secure the fight. The angle is a bit weird because you're kind of like not that central, but you can see them. Should be able to get like 2 or 3 kills there. Oh, hitting the tanks again. Isn't that like... Isn't that their cloak and... What am I hearing on your right? That is their cloak and dagger. Okay, look around more when you ult. Oh, that is sad. That is a shame. That is a shame. That was... You could have won this fight as well. You finally ulted and just didn't get nothing out of it. Wait, see the lag now? Oh, it shows up in the... Look at my team. Kinza, do you want me to help you get better, or do you want me to make you feel better? Because like absolutely, I can like validate your feelings here, but I'm seeing so many things that you can improve on, and I think it's better that you just like take that in mind. You can't control your team. You know this. I know your team is not very good. I see the Psylocke isn't doing too much. He is getting some picks. I see the, but like it doesn't really help. It's like a snowball effect. That's why I should fight back as well, because I had to. The stun is okay. I'm debating whether you could have shifted here, but I think you were just cooked when he defocused you. This guy just has it out for you. I think it's all the stuns you pissed him off. I want to watch this fight, but I'm trying to figure out, like, this one definitely, the ult was really bad. Like, you didn't get the value out of it. Let's see if I can, like, can we split out? So, 2 things I didn't like with this ultimate is, why did you ult? Let's start here. Let's start this from the start, so you can get a nice lesson out of it. You ulted, I believe, to, it's a tempo ult, because you know if you win this fight, you will force them to, or if you win this fight, it's basically GG. You shift here because of the 4. Which is like, this is a safe move. And then you ult here. I don't like, like immediately when I saw it, I didn't like it because you see this angle here. You, and I said it before, I said it again, you kind of like get a weird off angle. It's not terrible, you can make it work. Some of you don't. You have wall hacks, you can see where everyone are. You probably should just do a quick... I do this all the time. Just try to do this. Spin around when you do an ult and just double check where everyone are. You need 100% game sense to get the maximum value here. Just like, what exactly is going on? You would have seen the Cloak and Dagger, which you could go in 2 hits to force her off. Then your first shot here, I don't know what you were going for. Maybe you thought that was like not a Loki clone. But you should have been trying to kill the Invisible Woman. You could have killed her easily. Instead, you shoot the tank. Same problem mistake you did last time. Maybe a misread. I can't comment too much of you, like, if you're whiffing shots. That was just probably a misread. But you could definitely kill the Invis here. And I don't know what is happening here. And you see the Loki as well. Like, the prio is really weird. And just try to take it. It's literally when you ult on Hela, just try to hit the supports. Or try to hit the squishies. Especially ones that you can hit. Small tip. This one, this is the one pros I want you to know about. You probably noticed too, but I'm going to explain it anyways. The balls move differently depending on if it's your left hand or right hand. So you can curve it. It's like the movie Wanted. You can curve the ball to go around and hit her. So if you did, what is that? Like if you do a right hand throw, I always forget which one's first. I always forget. It's right hand first, I think. So if you threw the right hand, it would have landed here with a splash damage her. And then a left hand here, and she would have died. That's why I see this, and I'm like, you should have been able to kill her. And if those two didn't do it, then the third one would have gotten her. And instead, you just didn't get value. Then you see that Loki is moving. Or, like, you can use throw in, I guess, because you're in this. You're trying to read her. You get a bit tunnel vision. Loki starts moving. You would have had time for 2 throws. Came out a bit late. And, like, I have the same wall like you do. So you could have made this decision, too. But the ultimate came out weird. You don't have to ultimate like that early. You could, but you could ultimate later. Sometimes what I even do is I bird in. This is super risky. You didn't have your bird now, but I bird in and I just shoot someone. Maybe go for a stun or something. Because like I think if a stun lasts for, like the cooldown for your stun is about as long as the cooldown or the duration of your ultimate. So I like pop a stun, I shoot around a little bit, and the second I take too much pressure, I ult. Then they're already looking at me. And they're like, you kind of disrupted them. And you get up into the air, they might be mispositioned or focused the wrong way, and you might get more out of it. But now you ulted from like where you already were or whatever, like where they were looking, so it was going to be hard for you to begin with. You put yourself in a losing situation by using your ult there. You didn't have to use it, you had no pressure on you. You could have walked up closer to and ulted earlier as well. There are a lot of different ways you could have used this ultimate, and sadly none of them were the ways you should have. I would say, generally speaking, not talking about the first round, I feel like your positioning, the overall like game sense, decision making, target focus is mostly fine. It really just comes down to your ultimates or abilities mostly. Birds are okay as well. You could maybe play flank some more often, but you're forced to play more defensively. Honestly, since you're playing triple support now, you could play more like flanky. Like you could be dueling the CD or like harassing her. Like, you could be going up on a high ground here somewhere. You could even be on that high ground where she is right now. Just walk up there and kill her. And then shoot the enemy's team in the back. Your only threat... And, like, the thing wouldn't be able to do much against you then either. Because if he's trying to chase you on the flanks, you're fine. You always have your bird to come back to your team. And that one's hard because you're playing, like... Again, Hela, you can be both with your team and you can be on the flank. You want to do a mix of both, and it's hard to know when you can do which. I'm still trying to get used to it. I don't expect you guys to be like gods of knowing when to play with your team and when not to. But in this case, you definitely could have been, see the seminar on space if you didn't, right? You could have definitely been claiming more space and controlling more. Especially on this map, you control the high ground here. You have so much control of the whole map. You can be super aggressive if you hit your shots. Or not, oppressive is the word I'm looking for. And his CD was out of position the whole game. Like, you could easily kill her, like, so many times. Especially in his last fight. And I'm sure if your teammates were complaining, reports saying, oh, you have to kill the Iron Man. Which you probably also could have done. But there were a lot of things outside of the Iron Man you could have dealt with, too. I like that shift. Didn't do much. Can I see the stun again? It's like, yeah, okay. It's a shame that one time he does go for the ult. It's just wasted the stun. No, I get you trying to avoid Iron Man ult. That wasn't bad, that's what I meant. That was a nice shift to survive. You were cooked otherwise. And then you, I believe you canceled it as well to get back in. That was nice. A small mechanical thing. Stunning, I do this as well. Maybe that's where you picked up. Like stunning strange like this can be fine, but it's risky. Like you just stun them because then if you can time it, because they just have this I don't know what it is, but they always lower the shield at the same time after the same amount of time. So if you can time your Eater, you can get 2 headies. But yeah. So in summary for this one, again, ability. I felt like your focus got better when they had like eventually it was like, okay, you identified we need to deal with the Iron Fist. You started peeling back, looking at your team, you started dealing with Iron Fist. That was good. However, they changed up. You didn't. You still peeled back. They picked triple support, and none of your teammates nor yourself had enough damage to deal with it. I think you guys ended up swapping to triple support as well. You didn't play proactive. You didn't play flanks. You didn't play aggressive enough to off-angle them or flank them. And with triple support, they could keep you up. You could be getting heals from your Raccoon, could be throwing your balls or something, but there's also a million medkits on this map. You could definitely be more assertive on the flanks. Your stunts, I will say 99% of them, I felt they did nothing. And I'm not sure if you were planning anything with them or you were just like, oh yeah, it's off cooldown, let's use it. Which can be worth it, but you have to keep in mind there's certain things you need to have your stun ready for. In this case, I guess you don't really have one. But like against the Iron Fist, I felt like you didn't stun him much either, and he was like your #1 condition to stun. Especially if he wastes his block. And when you do stun someone, you need to make sure to you can stun to secure free kills. Well, you need to make sure to get a headshot when you do that, and we'll work on just lining up your headshots after you get a stun because they're free and significantly more damage. I believe you get 2 shots off. I could be wrong. It could just be 1. I haven't tested it enough. What else? Ultimate. I felt like you held on to it for way too long. It is your get out of jail free card, and when you used it, you didn't look around and you didn't focus the right targets ever. You always shot the tanks instead of the support so you can 2-shot easily. Remember that it's 70 per shot, right? Remember that your ultimate does the exact same damage as a headshot. I believe it's 140, but it's AoE. So 2 headshots, actually it might be more than, right? Or just there's no fall off. I could be wrong, it's actually more now. I think it used to be the same. But now it's 3 shots for a kill. But back in the day, it used to be 2 headshots for a kill. But two shots with your ultimate will kill any squishy. Shooting the tanks is usually a waste because you have to, if it is 140 for a ball, then you have to hit them depending on the tank like 3-4 times. That's like your entire ult. It's just not worth it. And they can almost be out healed. If I 1v1 a Hela ulting as an Adam, I can out heal him sometimes. With a bond, I think. I don't know exactly. But again, you hit the supports, you just die. And you can see the entire enemy maps. If you do put your ultimate in a good place, then you can kill the enemies a lot. So, in short, we gave this one extra time because Kinza has been very active in this community, and I felt it was... He deserved, and he's also is very high rank, and I do believe he deserves additional, like a deep lesson here. Deep dive. Let me check here what we had on the... And it's Hela, it's perfect, because I've been working on it myself. Where the hell do we have the submit a VOD? Here. So, in summary, he did say, the team was just terrible. I don't know if there was more I could have done. It was a rough game. There was a lot more that you could have done, and now we've covered that. So I hope that next time around, you'll be more mindful of your abilities. In short. Since we did go this deep, I'll just write like C video. Because we had a lot of points here. A lot of pointers. Okay.